So I finally have the Megatron figure from Hasbro's RED or Robot Enhanced design. This is the line of Transformers toys that are non-transforming. So I have my RED Megatron out of packaging to pair with my Optimus Prime figure. So just a quick touch up on what I did to this action figure of Optimus Prime. So out of box, these windshields were transparent, so the matrix of leadership was visible inside. So what I did was just instead of painting it, I just applied some white stickers on it to hide the matrix of leadership and give the head shields or windshields that G1 accurate look of Optimus Prime. Of course, I did a little bit of touching up with the parts of the figure that were unpainted, especially the head of Optimus Prime. The eyeballs or the eye sockets were really just light baby blue, so I had to paint them with dark blue paint. So of course the cab lights, I also painted them yellow. The Autobot insignia, deeper silver, and the forearms, a little bit of yellow too here, and the right forearm. So that's just it for this Optimus Prime figure. So let's go to Megatron. So while these two boys are discussing some of their issues, so let's look at Megatron's accessories. So out of the box we have spare hands, so one that's holding a Energon cube. We have Megatron's most iconic and popular melee weapon. We also have a pointing hand, a relaxed hand, and a weapon gripping hand. So I don't know if does Megatron have other weapons to hold with this hand. Let's take it out of the wrapper. I was just thinking, so if their intention is for this to pop it into the forearm of Megatron, okay. So just thinking, is he capable of holding his melee weapon? Okay, so that's it. So you have that capacity. So if you don't want to change hands and just retain this piece over Megatron's left forearm, and ever you want to display this piece with that figure, so just pop it into that socket over there, and I think you'll be good, but it won't stay in place really. Just good for posing. Yeah, no. Let's try again. Okay, just for posing purposes. But as for playing with it, you better take out the hand and attach it to the forearm of the figure. So just a note out of packaging: when you take your action figure, your Megatron or your Optimus Prime figure out of packaging, the foot of the figure would be positioned or placed this way. The problem with this position is they would limit the mobility of the foot. Not much mobility, right? So just like what I discovered with my Optimus Prime, I have to pull the foot out of socket. So it really increased the mobility of the foot. And also the overall height of the figure, so they match well with Optimus. So the RED action figures, Megatron and Optimus Prime, the plastic that was used for these molds or these action figures are made of denser material. so you won't really have that problem of things breaking on this figure. Well, of course, rough play would really break toys, but for collectors like us who just rarely play with their toys, or play with their toys just by posing for picture purposes, breaking issues is not a problem. So as for the looks of Megatron, is he the Megatron that we expect of him, that G1-esque look of Megatron? And I could answer that it is yes, an astounding yes. So I look closely at the aspect of the action figure. That is the Megatron that we have seen in the animated series and the 1986 movie, especially when we move to the back of the figure, the barrel. That's the barrel that we really know from the animated series and the 86 movie, especially the colors on Megatron, that lighter gray and darker gray, and really jet black for the cannon. Now, of course, some of the weakness of this product line or else would be the head sculpt, and I'm happy to say that that's a really sharp looking Megatron head sculpt. And I love how clean the lines are painted on the insignia or the faction symbol. So as for articulation, we have articulation for the head. He could move the head left and right, up and down, but he can't move the head really high. So that's the limit as to Megatron looking up. So as for shoulder articulation, we have this motion for the shoulders. We have rotation. We have a single point on the elbows and rotation. We also have the capability of, or the possibility of changing the hands for this figure, as with the number of accessories that are included with the pack. However, this cannon over here, that is something that you could not pop out. It stays with the figure. Now, what this figure has that the Optimus Prime does not have is, yep, your Megatron figure has a bend on the waist, while this Optimus Prime does not have it. Well, of course, because of the gimmick of the Optimus Prime figure, maybe, of the having the matrix of leadership. But if I was to redesign this figure, I would forego of the matrix of leadership, and I would be happy to have that waist bend. Now, let's go for the waist area. If he has that bend over here, he has also a swivel on the waist. And as for articulation on the legs could move that high. And as for forward mobility of the legs, that is your limit, because of this crutch piece, plastic, hinders movement upwards. However, for sideway movement, that's not a problem. So we have rotation over here. Even though it looks like a double point or double joint, I'm not sure if it's a double joint. So let's see. But looks like that it's a, yeah, just a single joint. Single joint for the leg, for the knee, I mean. And of course, we have that wide range of motion for the foot. So overall, with all of the accessories that were included for this action figure, we have that melee weapon and that assortment of hands that came with the figure. And by the way, it's easier to pop the hands of this figure compared to the Optimus Prime. So changing hands is not an issue. And as for mobility on the hands, we have a swivel over here. So put that hand back. Yep. So for the price that you're paying for this figure, not bad. So if you see this on shelves at your local Walmart, better grab one. And if you could grab both, much better.